You know what time it is.
What's up, beer people?
If you heard it on the hashtag beer time, it's true.
It must be true.
It's true. It is fact. Please, won't you name one of your beers Cart Horse?
And just do something terrible. Just shit beer.
Stick your finger in there every now and again.
Stir it with a sock.
Every show, it feels like my first show.
Every show is a new adventure.
We're having some good conversation here, Mr. Troy.
Did I make sense there? I think I did.
I love them all.
Are we all fair?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Hashtag Beer Time, episode 39. Mountain Brewing Company, located just outside Cape Town. I'd say at about 2 hours drive. It's based in the Western Cape, and it is situated in such a beautiful part of South Africa. It really is a breathtaking brewery to go and visit. Speaking of breathtaking, the beers are fantastic. I'm really impressed with the caliber of beers that are coming out of the stable. On the show, we have Pierre or PG, and he is the main dude to chat to, and we chat to him about his plans for the brewery, what they want to do with the community and his seasonal specialty beers. We also have co-host back in the studio, Mr. Murray Middleton, who definitely adds some depth and flavor to the conversations. So I'll let you guys get on with it. As always, let me know what you think. Cheers.
Feel it. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 o'clock on a Tuesday means one thing and one thing only. It is time for Hashtag Beer Time with me, T-Bone Troy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You're listening live on Two Oceans Vibe Radio. Feel good. Feel good. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is from the 80s. Beverly Hills 90210. I have no idea. But let's ask someone who knows their 90s movies and quizzes and music and TV shows. Welcome back to the studio, co-hosts Mr. Almost a different Murray Middleton. How are you, sir?
T-Bone, I'm bloody fantastic.
Yes, you are making love to that mic.
Jeez.
Jeez, you've missed the mic.
It's good to be back.
I'm going to turn your mic just a bit down.
These earphones are purely warming my ears. That's it. They serve zero other purpose.
Well, let's get into the show and let's get into welcoming a very special guest, someone who I've been wanting to get on the show for quite a while now. And he is a good buddy, and he had to, I think, bring his passport just to get you. But he is Mr. PG from Mountain Brewing Company, all the way in Worcester, Rawsonville? Where are you guys?
Smack in the middle.
Smack in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so welcome to the studio. How you doing?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. And I'd like to say hello to all our international listeners.
Would Worcesterville work?
Worcesterville.
Yeah.
I like the United States of Worcester. That's, to me, it's like...
But that's got no Rawsonville in it.
No, Awesomeville. Awesomeville.
Awesomeville.
That's
Awesomeville.
it.
Okay.
But Maza, I am going to ask you just to push your mic a little bit towards me in 3, 2, 1. More. Because there's
Blasting.
you're stealing some.
I don't know what's going on here.
You're stealing some more waves. You know how okay, but I can tell you right now, you are sounding.
You've got to have that 30, 30, 33, 33, 33.
You are sounding fantastic, guys. Bloody hell! Enough chit chats. Why are we here? We're here to drink some beer. Mr. PG, what should we have first? I'll let Murray just dip his hand. What's in the?
You tell me, I'll grab.
The lightest beer.
Lightest one should probably be...
Technical.
Let's start with Cherry Stumpy, because I actually brought some good old heavy beers for us today, since there's snow everywhere around.
Is it snow in your area?
Yeah, no, everything is white topped. Even just if you look up at our brewery, it's just snow in the mountains at the moment.
Maza, how you doing there?
T-Bone, I'll manage.
You'll manage. Cool. Well, it's sounding fantastic.
For you.
It is sounding fantastic. Last week we had a some technical issues, but I'm just listening now. It sounds good.
Crystal clear.
Long listeners of the show will know that these things happen. There's always a crack. But just wait for it. That's the sound of that.
Can we get that applause that happens again? There's the
yeah, do you want?
Well, I mean, we've got to ask the live audience whether they.
We need some. We need some studio participation sounds, some jingles. That's what the show is missing. Jingles.
Mind blast.
I think it's your. Anyway.
No,
just
didn't
keep
touch a
just,
thing.
Just keep still. Right, let's.
I've been as still here as Pat McCabe. Haven't touched a thing.
Pat was still there.
Had to be.
That's all Pat.
Oh,
Okay, so, Mr. PG, what?
Yeah,
Talk to us. What are we drinking?
So, yeah, this has been a long journey. Doing this, I think it sounds so romantic working with cherries, but it's a really difficult product to work with because it doesn't have a lot of flavor. All the sugar ferments out, and this was made with a lot of cherries from the Klondike and Ceres and Clarence as well. So we had to scavenge around a bit, and
correct me if I'm wrong. That's a little bit further inland.
Clarence or what?
Yeah,
Klondike.
all these places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Klondike is close to Ceres,
Okay.
which is actually now one of the biggest cherry farms in the country.
Oh, okay.
And we fought with the idea, and we got to keep it natural. And so it's not synthetically sweetened. And with a lot of maturation and techniques, we could get that tartiness out of the cherry. So it's not a, when you think cherry, you think cherry lollipop or sweetie that you eat, but it's not. So the nose and so forth definitely pops.
You know what I'm getting? Besides the crackle in my ear, is no, I need to fix this. Hold on.
I agree.
You guys keep talking.
You don't get any artificial vibe from it at all, which is very nice.
So it's been
Hold on. Sorry, guys. Just keep playing some music. Sorry, guys. There's always technical issues on the show, but let's. Okay, I think it's that mic. But as long as it's still.
Sipping it down.
Okay. We'll just have to do. That'll just have to do, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, but these things happen on the show.
No,
They happen.
The momentum hadn't kicked off properly, so
I hadn't even had a sip yet.
I kind of like it. It gives you drinking time.
Yes, it does. So I'm getting a bit of...
cherry.
Yeah. But there's a certain... like a fizzer, like a candy floss, when you go to the fair and you get that... Well, I suppose it's an overindulgence of sweets in your face.
When you go to those birthday parties when you're young, and you just see bowls of sweets and you don't know how to hold back.
Now I'm entering the age where all my friends have got 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds. We're going to parties. I didn't fully invest my time into eating those sweets when I was little.
So now you're catching up.
No,
I think you did though. I don't think any kids looking at it, they're like, I've had enough. No more fizzes for me. Another knick-knack? No.
Yeah,
Too much.
Let's wait till it all comes out.
Yeah.
But this is...
I'm not a child of excess.
I'm actually enjoying sniffing this beer because it's very nostalgic. It does take you back to...
It's got like a...
when you were young.
It's got a very nice juiciness about it. Like a... to say like a...
Do you know what? It's got a very strong presence with the cherry on the nose. And you kind of think that it's going to carry through and have a overwhelming presence in
Sweetness,
the taste.
yeah, and it's not,
Unpleasant sweetness, but it doesn't come through because it's almost flipped its way over and it goes back to
But I don't get that like...
an ale.
It's not like a fake sweet. Like the smell you're getting. It's not a fake sweetness. It is like a almost like you'd get from, those like Woolworths bags, those frozen berries. Dump out. Smells like that.
No, and I think the next batch that's coming out now, I'm extremely excited about because, I think a lot of people think when you slap a label on it, it's done. And it's not. You keep improving wherever you can. And what I found is working with different batches of cherry, suddenly your sugar is way down. And suddenly you have a lot more acidity to kind of work with. And I've been playing around a lot, and a lot of times you have to just change your grain bill for that exact same brew, because working with things like honey and fruits and so forth, it changes from batch to batch.
But that's what being a craft brewer is all about.
But sometimes I was going to ask, how do you find people who have maybe had one and then experienced a difference in the other? Are they welcoming to the fact that it's not exactly the same, or do they understand it? Or
when you get some FaceTime with the folks and you explain it, it definitely helps. But I've gotten people at festivals say, "Sure, I can drink this all day because it's not too sweet." And I've had others like, "No, man, I kind of like the Leafman's sweetness more."
That's what I thought when I was a kid at birthday parties. I could eat these sweets all day.
All day. I wouldn't get sick.
Yeah.
But that's a tough thing, is if it is going out and it's on shelves and it's in places that you aren't there, sometimes people will just go straight to the social media and say, well, it's not the same as it was last time. Other people are, they're the people who do understand, and they're the people who don't. I think the majority of people do understand. But
no, I think you need to hit a certain criteria, and in that ballpark, I'm happy with it. I've looked 2 weeks ago. I dumped a batch because it was just not on the profile it should be, and that unfortunately is the
Can I
hard
just
side.
say, good for you. It takes balls.
It's a death in the family.
It's an emotional.
Don't speak to me that day.
To dump in your beer.
Yeah.
But I applaud you, and I tip of the hat to you for doing that.
yeah.
But I think it's going on the subject of consistency. It's, I suppose, if you let the consumer know that this is a craft beer, you are evolving it. It's not going to be the same. Each thing that you use is different. I know that. I mean, Gary from Citizen, whenever he made his amber ale, it wasn't even he wasn't even putting cherries or honey. It was just an amber ale. Say just an amber ale, but it was just an amber ale, which he was very open about and saying to the consumer and on advertising and social media, whatnot, that this is an evolving product. The batch you get next time will be, in his case, an improvement, because he's always wanting to.
Yeah, but it's got to be an improvement.
An improvement.
Can't go away a step back.
Yeah.
It's got to go a step forward.
But yeah, so to finish off with this beer.
So yeah, this is definitely
It's
something for the
fantastic.
summertime. It's working with the cherries. It's quite high in alcohol, so
I was going to say, it's very sneaky, because it's got a very light body, very easy.
What's the alcohol there?
5.9.
That is sneaky.
So it sneaks. It's like it's a little suppy, and you have it. You can drink that out of a series juice box and be like, "Fuck, I'm refreshed
This
now."
is like one of
but
those
that's
little-
going to kick you in the dick.
No, for sure.
This is like a serious fruit
Yeah.
box. You got your straw and you pluck it in
Yeah.
and you.
Or Capri Sun or something.
Seeing people enjoying it, give them 30 minutes. It's rainbows of love and happiness coming out after
I
that.
think that happens every time you drink these beers. Well done. This is delicious, and
Refreshing.
I look forward to seeing the evolution of this beer. To seeing if there's a different seasonal batch or how it'll taste with different cherries and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But it's finished now. There's no more in my glass, and I think we need to have some more. What's the next beer?
So the next one, Murray, will you do the honors?
I would love to.
And
Am I choosing?
You
There's
choose.
another one.
no, we won't have another one.
There's another one.
You're listening to hashtag Beer Time, where everything fun happens, technical issues. Now, this is a beer that I haven't had before. So do you want to talk to us about it? And I'm just going to open one because I think that's the responsible thing to do. I'll if you can't take that back, I'll have to look after those.
So, yeah, I've been holding back on this beer. I've been making it for about 2-3 years already. But it's not a dry hopped. It's a traditional, more English IPA, more maltier side as we are more maltier. I'm always about more maltier and flavor in the beer. So on the nose itself, you will get that lots and lots and lots of late addition, but no dry hopping. And that kind of gives me that bit more complexity of tasting more than just smelling hops in your beer.
Well, you've called it an English IPA. So is that because of the style, or is it because of the hops? I suppose I've just answered my question.
No, it's the style itself, and as well as it's not that that East Coast fruit bomb. It's more
earthy, woody, grainy,
and it's definitely one of those beers my old man loves. And we got to make this. And, And I've always been my side is not big on hoppiness, and you can't fight the. You got to give them what they want.
Isn't that amazing? Everyone. Ooh, Mazza, you were perilously close to that wire.
I touched it.
And now I'm gonna have to adjust it.
No.
Nikki touchies.
Fine.
Fuck, it really is sensitive. Sorry, guys.
I leant across the table.
And it just...
I went for it.
No, you've got to go for it. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about, isn't it strange how for most brewers or those who have lucky enough to have a father in their life, there's always that influence from the old man who wants you to brew. No, brew one of these. For my old man, if I had to start a brewery, he'd just want the lager. He'd want his mug of lager. He's very English, so he'd want that sessionable summer lager. Mazza, what's your old man's? What is he pushing you to do?
So my dad, very interesting. He's a film director, so he's been doing ads for Castle his whole life, and he's very funny. Like as soon as he does an ad for something, he just believes in the product 10,000%.
Lovely.
So he did an ad like back in the day for Miller's. Only thing in the fridge was Miller's.
Oh, really?
Then Castle's, like only Castle's. Did an ad for Lexus car. Like everything just follows what he does ads on. VW car. So he just like pushes hard along that. And now since I've been in the sort of the more character-filled beer industry, he's just flipped like 100%, and he's just like he enjoys it. Like an SAB beer, he'll enjoy it, but he's just like, it's so boring, man. So give me all bloody pale ale. Give me something that's got like a lot of flavor. And
that's good, I suppose.
So
bit of a bias.
He digs it. He digs it, but I think he like in terms of what he looks for, he doesn't dig anything that's got like an infusion. So he won't want a cherry beer.
Okay.
If I do a beer for a festival and it's got like, I don't know, vanilla pods in it or something, he's like,
it's got to be the real deal.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want that.
That's not real.
Yeah. So he wants like a beer that if you explain it to him, he understands why, he'll dig it.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what his standard that he wants is, but
but I find it quite amusing because this is, you said, the beer that you want your old man push you to do, a typical English ale.
But it's nice. It's got a good. It's got a very nice roundness to it with a good, unexpected bitterness. That's good. It's got a good bitterness. Yeah.
Amount of carbonation for an English English ale. I don't know why I need to say English ale like that, but I feel.
I know you haven't said it differently once.
I know.
So yeah, I think it is definitely, as you say, big inspiration from my old man's side, because I never really was a beer drinker. I actually hated beer back in the day. It was normally that one of the one you clap before Branas.
Just to explain to the international guests.
Okay.
Yeah. Brandy and Coke.
Yeah. So I only realized 4 or 5 years ago, wow, there's life in craft beer after you've tasted it, and then my dad he's been a big connoisseur, and he's like, you must try this Pilsner Urquell. Oh, that's a beer. You know, when I was he traveled a lot overseas, and he came with all these ideas, and it's like, I had this beer in America. It's called a flat tire. Oh, Fat Tire. Yeah, Fat Tire. That was a good beer. So there's been a lot of influence from his side, and I think I always try to stay with Mountain Brewing Company's brand to kind of be that beer that would be your stepping stone to craft. You know, never forget where you started, because that'll be the same for everybody starting. Do the amazing and heavy stuff, but don't try to force it down people's throats. Let them evolve.
Yes.
And we definitely saw that around 2016. Suddenly, that December, you had guys outside that lager is the only thing we drink. And I made this Copper Dawn dry hop lager, Vienna lager, that kind of is a pale ale lager IPA. I don't know, but it was a stepping stone to show them there's more to lagers. And 2016, suddenly all the beers started selling in the group, which sounds amazing, but it's terrible for a brewing schedule to suddenly put out the same amount of beers of everything. But I think what we saw is these kind of beers is what people are experimenting with now, and they're getting comfortable with trusting the brand.
Quick question: how many beers in your stable?
Year round.
Year round, how many?
Probably around 13, 14.
Oh wow, okay.
But a lot of we like exploring. We like
for sure. If you're in an exploring phase, then go for it.
But I think core range that we will do seasonal about 7.
Okay. So how many? We were chatting off air, but you've got some lined up, some collabs, some experimentals.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about your neighbors? Because I know that's you. We joked earlier that you had to get your passports to come into town. Takes you maybe about maximum 2 hours to get into Cape Town. But there's a bit of a community happening out in the valley, in the Worcester Robertson Valley, where there's some breweries popping up now.
Absolutely. I mean, if you go all the way from Greyton, Old Potters now. Next one in is Hermanus, which is also, there's a new brewery coming there now that's quite exciting. And Winninklip, if you just carry on mine, then it's Mountain Brewing Company. Saggy Stone is there.
Saggy Stone's just around the corner. Maker's Mark, where's that?
Maker's
Mark. That's in, I think that's just past Robertson. But anyway, it's all kind of in the same kind of area. They're once springing up and popping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I know, are you looking at doing any collabs with them? Doing any projects, making some beers with them?
We currently building a new brewery at our premises. I don't think people know this, but hence the word Mountain Brewing Company, the name. We literally sit 500 meters up a mountain, and next to Klipperkop Mountain Reserve, and they have an exceptional water spring out of and it's a what they call a 400-year water cycle. So what the smart people explain to me is basically it means whatever rains now you'll only see in 400 years from now. So you're still basically brewing with the 1600s water, and it's untouched. Soft water, and I think with that whole expansion we're doing now is about 30-40% of the new expansion we're gonna give to barrel aging, and that's definitely something that a 5-year project from
exciting.
Now. Absolutely, and we have lined up some. I've been speaking to a couple of brewers that. We're doing it with a stamina potion that we just launched that was a collab with Matthew Hurst. There's about 3 or 4 more potions coming in that range in the next year, and some kettle sours, some peach stuff, some good stuff working. And I mean, some lovely brewers that we're going to do it with. Old brews from Stellies, Stefan, Little Wolf, Devil from Tuk Tuk. So some exciting stuff coming, definitely. If it's great. If it's not great, we'll not talk about it ever again.
No, well, I imagine that it will be great. I'm looking forward to it. Maza, they call themselves Mountain Brewing Co. because they're on a mountain. Is Metal Lane built in a magical metal forest?
Yeah. So, if you know the Wizard of Oz,
Yes.
their head brewer looks like the Tin Man. Yeah. Identical.
Identical.
Yeah.
Is he as clumsy and...
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly the same.
But not heartless.
Not,
Is he heartless?
I think he didn't have a heart. Was it the lion that...
No, he was...
No, that's the scary one. The scaredy cat. Scaredy cat was the lion, I think.
And then the scarecrow...
Was it? But I read the other day, I was like, he admitted that he was, he was like scared. He wasn't brave. But that in itself is quite brave, isn't it?
Sure, that's deep, eh?
Yeah?
That's deep.
So I need to brush up on my Wizard of Oz.
Well, I mean, I'm
just
just
need
trying
to
to bring
read
a little bit of diversity
I
to
need
this,
to read it.
to this
Full
chat.
stop. Let me just...
There's a hell of a lot to talk about other than beer, but I like sticking on beer. This is the beers have been fantastic.
The beers have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was going to play a music. Let's
me.
crack open this beer, and then we can go to a quick music break. That beer was delicious.
It was
I'm
very
looking
good.
forward to it. What, Muzzy? Go
Let
ahead.
me crack
You know what you're doing here.
Let me give it a
What
go.
are we drinking?
So this is a new one this year. I've also been brewing it for on and off lately. Again, the old man wants it, but
Seems like what the old man wants, he gets.
yeah, you know, he definitely gets what he wants. But this is a doppelbock, and for me, a doppelbock kind of needs to be a bit more darker. And we actually do a semi-decoction on this. So we will split up some grains, do it on different temperatures, and then chuck it back for...
So what is a semi-decoction? Where
Well,
does
it's
that
not
happen? Where does that happen in the brewing process?
So on mashing side, you will do certain grains on certain temperatures, and that's how you get, like a full rounders on and make each grain its own hero without going too astringent or too molasses, and
Okay, so
then you put it back together again for lautering it out.
Okay, so just to break it down to the people who are not too familiar with that, so that's where you get your crushed grain and you're about to soak it in water, but instead of doing one temperature, you do, is it at different levels? Different temperatures?
Different grains at different temperatures.
Okay, so you split them.
Yes.
And what that means, as you said, you get that each individual grain to shine, to bring
Absolutely.
out the difference.
And you want
Proteins.
you want that maltier profile, but yet you still want the crispiness of the lager.
Okay.
So by doing that, you can add a lot of flavor, but still drinkability.
Okay, so that's in front of us. We have a clip book.
This fits very nicely into what you said. You really enjoy the malty, more, like the bitterness is very nicely balanced, but it's got that
So nice.
power, like crisp maltiness.
It's like got that fresh out of the oven bread crust that you get from a sourdough or something like that. I'm not talking about no supermarket bread. I'm talking artisanal craft bread.
For those of you listening and not watching, we all just basically made huge eyes and just looked at each other.
I'm gonna sniff it.
And then this puppy is slower. It's 50 days fermentation.
Ooh.
50.
Yeah. So because of it's 8.2% beer, and really, yeah.
That's why I bought the English IPA out.
Lord, I didn't know
Prior
this
to this.
8.2. Okay, but I mean, I suppose when you're drinking a Doppelbock, it's. I think we said this on the show last week. A Doppel is added double the strength of a.
Yes.
So you do get a Bock beer,
Yeah.
and then you get a Doppelbock.
But interesting to say, this is it's got no like alcohol warming. No, like none of that. That like harsh alcoholic
Yes.
burn. It's like very smooth. The maltiness and the unfermented sugars work very nicely with it. It's
dangerous.
yeah, it's very dangerous.
It's dangerous.
You could like make a reduction out of this and pour it over some ice cream, and you just not in this weather. Get that ice cream away from me.
This is you get the My Box and the Ice Box and the Doppelbock for me is that hunting background. The guys soon realize that slunking around 50 bottles of beer for 2 nights of hunting is way too much effort, and clapping 2 Doppelbocks gives that personality and the results, and you're done for the night.
Thank you, Donkey. There we go. Easy. I agree. This is if you do want to kind of like kill 2 birds with one stone, or just not take as many 6-packs. You can just take a few of these, and you'll be sorted for the evening.
And again, trying to explain a stout, people understand. You love it or you hate it, but I'm more switching towards the Doppelbock for a seasonal than doing a porter or something like that. I don't know if it's the background we have with going to Namibia and drinking the books that side or whatever, but people know a book a lot more and actually get excited about it, where I have to explain more. And again, this is my side of the universe. This is not Cape Town. But
that's the cool thing about it. You've got your story behind why it is the way it is, and that's one of the main reasons why, like people buy into stories more than they buy into something they don't know about. And that's nice to be able to say, like, this is the reason I've done it. It ties in exactly with X, Y, and Z, and go from there.
And the fact that you've been working on this for, you say, like 2 years. You've not just seen
with a 50-day fermentation. In 2 years you've brewed about 2 batches of it.
It's not like you've spotted a gap in the market and thought, or not even a gap, but just said, hey, I want to make this, let me make it. And then in the next week, you've released it. You've thought about it. You've worked on it and refined a recipe. And
I think it's also a thank you thing, kind of saying thanks. Because there's no way you can do this 8.2%, put it in a bottle for the same price as any other beer. It's insane. But that winter time, it comes out and everybody enjoys it. So that's sometimes that's more fun than trying to stay afloat and make money.
Oh, I think there's the balance, eh? It's all good to have that balance and have the stuff that doesn't make sense, but you do it because you love it.
Speaking of balance, let's play some music. Balance song. Okay.
Now we're going to segue nicely into this song with balance.
No, we just did with balance. We said we need.
Yeah, but what
balance.
song is going to have balance in it?
Well, okay, it's not okay. I'll segue nicely. Well,
We're
guys,
touching at straws here.
You are listening to #BeerTime, and we do have Mr. PG from Mountain Brewing Company who's joined us. He's travelled far. He's had to
leave
the rural life and join the urban life.
Cross borders.
He's coming to the city. He's travelled downtown. So, guys, we'll see you in a few minutes' time.
This is a track, though.
This is a track. We can listen. Okay. Let's welcome the people back to #BeerTime. It is radio time. It's Two Oceans Vibe Radio. You listen to Two Oceans Vibe Radio. That is the station, and it's #BeerTime. Can you tell I've been drinking? But that's fine. Let's turn this music off. Thank you, Full House. Mazza, how you doing? You having a good time there?
What?
Yes. Let's turn this off.
I quite like a backing track, a good, like, vibey backing track.
Do you like a backing track?
Yeah, something like super cheesy. I can't hear what's going on in these earphones.
Yeah, I know.
It could be a great track, but I just hear like, yeah, it's terrible.
That's for us,
Okay, let's get back to business.
This is insane.
We're looking at a beer which I do want to talk about towards the end because we've got Mr. PG from Mountain Brewing Co. Do we have anything else before we have this?
No.
So then it'll be silly to jump straight into this. So let's have your beer.
Okay. We don't have to. You can save it.
Is there nothing else, eh?
Well, there's one
No.
of each of that we've had.
Okay, well then let's crack open your one. Mazza, you've brought us a beer. And it's why have you bought this?
So this is I had some. It's a collab I did with Lakeside. So
Okay.
with old Mornay.
Old Megamons, oh yeah.
Mega Prime Mornay. And it was just a beer that we decided we were going to put together a nice big beer, but I mean, it's not a 13%. It's actually only come out at 7.5, but it's a great beer. It's quite hop forward for a stout. It's more
Why did you make it? Is it for the fest or is it just for...
So we just made it just because we
Yes.
thought like it would be lekker to do something together for winter. And yeah, it's a nice roasty, toasty stout.
Okay, liquor.
Like
so
nice hop
but
forward,
w-
Challenger hops.
Can we get this at the fest?
You can get it at the fest, and it's on tap at the moment at Biggest Little Beer Shop. I mean,
Okay.
it would be quite cool to get it out a little bit more because it's like one of those small batch limited release things.
One
Yeah.
batch. If it does well, you'll do it again.
No, well, it will be a seasonal thing, but for now, this is the first of the first seasonal collab that we've done.
Okay, so we're obviously talking about the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival.
Yes.
Happening on the 4th of August. Mountain Brewing Company going to be there.
It's going to be epic.
I think there are going to be a few people going to be there.
Castle of good hops, absolutely.
Castle of Good Hops. Yeah, so that's going to be fun to see. Mazza, you're going to be there, right? You had this last year was your first event, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was your
first event.
Metal Land's first event. Yes, you were jamming then. You had your whole family behind.
Jeez,
Your
Pops
old
was
man-
pulling some
Your
pints
old man
there.
was, he
Yeah.
had a big smile. Hey, he was just
Yeah,
putting
he-
those kegs back.
Yeah.
You want a pint? I'll give you a pint.
It was it's a bloody good event that year.
Is
Yeah,
your old
starting
man-
with that, the rest must kind of feel kind of boring, eh? I mean,
No, I don't know. You're right in saying that you have a slightly skewed expectation of how festivals go because
Yeah.
it is that one that you take whatever you can and you will you sell a lot of it. But it's a fantastic festival. It's there and in winter it's so nice to see that it defeats the stigma that winter has at for beer sales. You know, everyone struggles to sell beer during winter.
and the variety that you
Yeah.
get there is amazing. Everybody
Yeah.
brings something cool.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic that everyone has to brew something different for
Yeah,
the festival. Yeah.
Going back to your beer, I would, if I can give some constructive feedback and criticism,
Please do, T-Bone.
just by looking at it, I would say it's a porter.
It's an American stout.
Okay, so is that
In terms of the color, American stout is also still black, but everything else it is basically a brown ale. But it's,
okay?
yeah.
Okay, let me just turn this music off here. Because when I taste it, I do get a bit of a. It is incredibly smooth, but there is that perception. It's weird because you say it's like what you're at 7.3%.
Yeah, 7.5.
7.5.
yeah, that is smooth, eh?
But it's smooth and it's
That goes.
Yeah.
I can't have all of this.
I'll have some.
Yeah.
Don't worry, T-Bone will have some. But it is like a double porter.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, you can't as a
Imperial Porter.
It's one of those things that when you put Imperial in front of something, people expect big stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't like, I don't want to say bastardize, but you can't like sell the people short on what they're expecting. Got to give them a real expectation of what you're going to get, and it's a 7.5%
Sure.
like American stout.
I like it. The drinkability is definitely there.
I've got to pace myself for these shows.
Wintertime is tough on you,
I've
eh?
got
All
a-
these big beers.
I've got to ask my guests to just give me an indication of what styles
are they bringing?
they're
Well,
bringing.
the lightest beer has been a 5.9%.
Yeah,
today.
and that's just for our American listeners. That's in terms of South African beers. That's 5.9 is pretty high.
Yeah.
Like we used to drink in 4.5. I know that's if it's a 5.5 lager, it's like whoa, hang on.
Zamalek.
Yeah, just slow down there. That's getting your bang for your buck. But so I'm looking forward to the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival happening on the 4th of August, and I think they're almost done with their early bird. In fact, I think the early bird tickets are done. But yeah, I think last year they got 2,000 people, so it's going to be nice to see it in a bigger space
Yes.
where you're not jostling and waiting 4 deep in a queue to get a beer.
Yes, yeah, the queues last year were.
Rough, eh?
But it was a good vibe. It was a good fest.
No, I mean it's part of the charm. I think you'd rather have a restaurant or a bar or something where you're still serving 100 people, but it doesn't have space for 1,000. Like you have to be able to fill the space nicely. And I think last year it was probably just over that mark, but it still worked very well. It was still, I think, the best space for where it could have been.
Still, it's at the castle, man. It's at the freaking castle.
Yeah, no,
Like, you cannot tell somebody 400 years ago where it is, and they'll know where it is.
Yeah.
You know? It's at the castle.
I haven't thought of that. But in Cape Town, it's at the castle.
let's thank you. This is delicious beer and well done. So I'm looking forward to
Thanks,
trying it
Stephen.
on tap.
Yeah, I'm always the small brewery bottling setup is always not ideal. It's always better on tap, but it's I think it'd be more excited for it on tap than it is in a bottle.
Let's move along now to our final beer of the show, which I have been looking forward to. Ever since I saw the label that you showed me and the artwork,
It looks very international.
it looks intense.
Yeah, it looks very international. I was going to say I did read the back, but before I wanted to say there's like a big World of Warcraft theme vibe.
There we go.
Yes.
You know? I think with this one, we wanted to do something special, and old Woody from East House Creatives hit it out of the park. He was swearing with me sometimes because I really put him through his paces on this one.
Good.
But
Must make the designers work.
but he really brought it together. And it is the idea of when we were kids, we suddenly aren't kids anymore, and the gamers of those years are 30 and 40 and 50 years old at the moment. And with doing something special, let's do something on the gamer theme, and it's the beginning of a series of a couple.
It's great to hear about it, and then to see it and to put the two together about the name and the look and the feel and I'm sure the feeling that it gives you once you've had a 13.5% cherry quad.
Can I just say before we? I kind of feel like I want to say everything before we drink this beer. Can I just say I've always liked your labels, your logo, and it's from what you've shown us today. Your designs are on point. So from my point of view, congratulations. Secondly, your beers are on point. And we were chatting off air. I was away this weekend in your kind of neck of the woods, and I had one of your lagers.
The Load Shed Lager.
The Load Shed Lager,
yeah.
and from a bottle. And, no disrespect to you, to craft brewers around the country, to around the world. But maybe generally speaking, there's this presumption that when you have a craft lager, it's not going to be hitting the mark in terms of a lager that you're used to. And I'm talking now obviously about the mainstream lager. I'm talking specifically about SAB lagers. We all are happy to admit that SAB make a great lager. They've been making great lagers for more than 120 years. I think they know what they're doing. So when you get a craft beer in a bottle that's got a lager, you kind of think, are they going to get up to that mark in terms of a recipe or brewer level in terms of what a lager is? Because it's
deliverable.
It's a hard beer to make.
Yeah, and there's nothing to hide behind.
It's a very hard beer to make. Yeah, exactly. You can't hide behind like an ale or a stout. So what I'm getting to is when I tried your load shed lager, there was a bit of a hesitance, but I tried it, and I do want to say that it hit the mark perfectly. And I'm not trying to just butter you up because you're on the show, but it was a great, just a feeling. And I was like, wow, this beer is not just only hitting the mark of what a lager should be, but it had a little bit more depth, a bit more complexity, a little bit layered in terms of a tasty beer. And it's great to see that your beers are hitting the mark and are on point. So there's only one thing to say. That's very exciting from my position, looking
Thank you
from
very much.
wherever I am.
I think it for us it was definitely a starting point, and again, working with honey is not an easy thing. It's not something you just chuck into the boiling pot and
Okay,
you're
so
done.
that's the beer that you used, honey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it brings a certain complexity to the platform, and honey's got its own polyphenols that you have to work with, its own color. And again, I don't know why I punish myself like this, but every time you work with natural products, it changes, it differs. So.
Yes.
Funny enough, the honey comes from a farmer right next to us that we use, and in the Fynbos area, and it's definitely got a mixture of eucalyptus and so forth. But again, you can't steer the bee to say go for that, please. That's what I like in my beer. Thank you. Certainly when you throw in the honey is critically important, and also working with the color, and you'll see a little bit of color difference, but. Again, I'm okay with that as long as it's good and sustainable. If nobody's going to complain if it's good, only when it's bad.
I suppose that's the case with most industries, unfortunately. But let me be the one to say that that was a delicious beer. Thank you very much. Yes, I was in your neck of the woods, and I actually didn't even know how close I was to the brewery. But Maza, we were stayed at this little riverside bungalow or
sounds hell of a romantic.
It was very romantic. And over the night, I don't know if it was just us drinking so much, but the next morning we woke up and the tide had risen. Like one of those scary movies where they came up to the fence and luckily nothing was swept away, but yeah.
From cuddle movie to horror movie.
Yes, exactly. For the people who are not from Cape Town, we've had massive droughts, and so to have excess water is something quite welcoming. Right, enough chit-chat. Let's drink our final beer, which is the
Stamina Potion.
Stamina Potion. It is a cherry quad. What am I drinking here? What am I opening?
So that's a little taster bottle, because I don't think we're going to open a 660ml and finish it today.
Lord. I'm just getting a whiff before I pour that, but that... Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so this has been about 1.5 year project in the making. And again, I was heavily focusing on cherry beers last year. And me and Matt made it. So this is more your sipping beer kind of beer.
We're talking about Matt from Helderberg Homebrewers Club.
That's correct. That's correct. And old Matt was like, yeah, he wants to, let's do it. And we've been playing around, and let's make the quad. And what is the pros and cons about quad and bringing it back to drinkability? That thick beer, that Belgium styles, that 4 times as strong beers sometimes it's a beer that you have to eat with your knife and fork.
Mazza finish the beer there, man.
Shut up.
And with that barrel coming into it, body and aroma, I think the cherry really cuts through that beer quite nice and brings it back down to drinkability. So again, it doesn't feel like a 13.5%. The drinkability is there, but yet a balance of that heavy maltiness that cuts through with the acidity of the cherry.
Well, I can't believe I'm only doing this now. I don't think we've done it, but let's cheers to this.
Cheers.
This is the first cheers.
The first cheers. That's very unlike us.
Oh.
But a moment of silence while we sniff. Yo, it's like you know what's coming, but you're going to drink it anyway.
Ooh.
It's like, because you told us it's 13.5%.
It is chewy.
It's going to hit you later, but you just kind of want to enjoy it now. First things first, it's got a beautiful color.
It does, eh?
I cannot describe this. Well, I'm going to try and describe this to the people listening. It's an intense cherry color, like
Ruby.
or just one level down from maroon. I like using the word maroon. So it's a beautiful cherry color.
And we had to use 4 different cherries to get that color.
How long was the process in making this, from mashing to aging? How old is this?
Probably it was about 9 months in the barrel. It came out, and I actually put it in a fermenter, and the big thing was, how much carbonation? How will it be from a year from now? Because technically, beers like this should last 2 years. And I'm not stating that. It's my first try. Give me some slack, but
some leeway.
I reckon 7 months. And it's changing from where it was. I mean, I bottled it already 2 months ago, and put it through a bit of lagering just to smooth it down a bit, and then put it outside a bit so it can start carbonating. And it shouldn't be an overcarbonated beer. It should just be the sipping beer.
Well, the beautiful thing about these kind of beers is that it would be a totally different beer next year.
Yes.
So I want you
changing.
Please do that, please, because thank you very much. You've given me a bottle for my own collection. I don't know if I can wait a year, but what I'd like for you guys to do is maybe in a year make this beer again, and then have last year's and then compare it.
That definitely going to try. As you said, it's a collector's item. We only make 200 of it. And suddenly this passionate idea realized, oh crap, we kind of have to break even as well. And I think it's also a statement of if this was a bottle of wine, 500 rands, no problem, people will pay it. But beer's got to be cheap. And no, it's not.
Yeah.
This is going to retail for around 260 on the shelf.
I was just about to ask you, because I find that relationship with wine pricing and beer pricing very, very interesting. And I think someone said to me the other day, like, why would you spend 200 rand on a bottle of beer? And I said, wait, just drink it and then tell me. And then it's kind of like, oh, wow,
And
okay. I'll do that.
That was definitely the big risk making this. And first of all, we're going to put a gamer vibe on it. So then secondly...
to improve your gaming skills.
You're going to make 200 of it, and it's going to be expensive. Is it going to sell? And I've been amazed about the feedback we had. People just, man, I don't drink beer, but I freaking love the bottle. I'll take it.
Yes.
I've got a mate that'll love it. And suddenly from 2-3 years ago, 260 is a good present for somebody. And I think it gives us space for more people to do that, because there is amazing brewers in this country, and we want to do premium stuff.
Yeah.
And I can gladly say I think we've got about 26 bottles left. from launching Friday last week.
Wow. Okay, so I know there are going to be some people listening. If they do want to get their hands on one of these, what's one of 26 bottles? What's the process besides driving out to your brewery?
Well, I think Biggest Little Beer Shop still have some left.
Okay.
City Cellars, this side still have some, and at Stillby, I still have some left. There might be a bottle or two still in George, but other than that, I think what would be nice is go to the shop and tell them, look, we want more, and we'll make a plan. But when it's finished, it's finished. I really want to try to keep some and keep the discipline to let it age and see how far it goes, and just to confirm that there is shelf life in this. The signs show it, so we'll see. Very exciting stuff coming for the future.
That's good to see, and it's good for other brewers to see and take note that specialty brands, whether it's a 500 or 650 or 750 ml bottle, beautifully packaged, nicely presented, limited edition, higher priced, it makes for a good present, it makes for a good gift for people who like their beer, people who maybe don't like their beer or not into their beer, let's just say that. So yeah, very interesting to see that, but congratulations, and I look forward to seeing more like that. Guys, can you believe it? It's 2 minutes past 1.
Sure.
And it's time to say goodbye. Mazza, you've been quiet.
Yep. I've been
trying to
appreciating this beer. It's delicious.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say, but you know what? There isn't. I do want to say to people listening that you need to get your tickets for Woodstock Beer Festival.
Yes,
Woodstock Winter. I always get it wrong. But that's, guys, I've just been drinking a lot of beer.
But,
so give me a break, Pete's sake. The Woodstock Winter Beer Festival, 4th of August.
At the castle.
At the castle.
Castle of Good
At a
Hops.
flipping castle.
At the castle, man.
It's going to be lekker.
That's going to be fun. Anything else that's coming up? Maz, I'll see you tonight at Beer House.
Are you going to come?
Yeah, I'm going to pop in.
I tell you what, it's a good place to watch the footy, yeah?
Okay, cool.
It really is. They've done a fantastic job.
I've been enjoying the footy. I've been on the edge of my seats, but I want to come and have a few cheeky pints.
Yeah.
And cheer on the boys. Yeah.
Come on, England!
Mr. PG, thank you.
Been a pleasure, eh?
Absolutely fantastic having you on the show, and I think we're definitely going to have you back on the show because I think what you guys are doing is amazing. You're bringing out some fantastic beers. We haven't even had your core range, so that's just shows the amazing beers that are coming out of your stable. So please consider coming back on the show because I think a lot of people would want that. Thank you very much.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Mazza, don't wait so bloody long to get back on the show, man.
I'm on whenever I can be.
Give the people what they want. The people want the Mazza. Hey?
Yeah, no, listen, T-Bone, I could only commit this morning to
Don't
being
you want to just give someone else to brew the beer? It's easy, man. Brewing beer is easy.
a tin man over there.
Tin man.
No, it's good to be back. It's always good to be back on the show. It's always one of those things where you say, I'm going to have to go back and do some work and everything. And you start changing your mind about halfway through when the lightest beers are 6%.
When they start kicking in at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I need to go home, do a few pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, just to work out that alcohol. And probably have a snooze afterwards.
I'm probably going to go find a camping site around here.
Yeah. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining us. To all our listeners, thank you very much. This has been a production of #Beer Time. To Oceans Vibe Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in. Segue.
And goodbye.
And goodbye. Enjoy the wonderful, fun world adventure of craft beer. Sometimes a roller coaster, wouldn't you say, Mazza?
Yeah. I mean,
it is sometimes a roller coaster.
Sometimes it's a roller coaster, but yeah.
Cool, guys. See you next week. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for listening, guys and girls. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for #BeerTime. That's #BeerTime written out in full. Hope you enjoyed the show, and check you next time. Cheers.